Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. Off topic today, I want to talk about being scared stiff by sleep paralysis. Now, I don't mind saying that I've kind of suffered from sleep paralysis since I can remember, going back probably close to 55 years or so. One of my very first memories of being able to have memories involved some sleep paranormal type thing. It's called the parasomnia, sleep paralysis. I guess that's the kind of disorder they categorize it at. And I woke up from a nap or the morning or whatever. I was a very small child. And then I could tell that something was still kind of asleep because what I was hearing, couldn't have possibly been there at the time. Something was really, really off. And then it just continued throughout my life, even to this very day, in all kinds of variations. So I want to talk about what sleep paralysis is. And if you can relate to having this, know that it is scary. It's not supposed to kill you, although sometimes I wonder if I'm going to have a heart attack when I get older. Sleep paralysis, that's when you got like 4 hormones that shut you down so that you can sleep and not be moving around in your sleep, running out of bed and acting out your dreams and flailing your arms around or whatever. But sometimes in some of us, I don't know if it's because it's just hereditary probably, or our minds are too active, but we're laying in bed thinking about something and all of a sudden we start to feel like we're going to die. Weird feeling, very unpleasant, and it's like unworldly. And so you try to shake yourself out of it because you don't want to die. And maybe you can. And then it happens again a couple minutes later, and then you struggle with all your might to get up, turn the lamp on, and say, my goodness, what is going on here? I don't want to die. And then you turn the light off, and you go back to sleep, and it happens, and it just eventually you succumb to it. You have no choice. You can kick, try to do whatever you can and scream, but eventually you can't say anything because your vocal cords get asleep, paralyzed, and the rest of your body, and you just go under. You can't help it. Now, that's frightening. Sometimes in the morning, also, I would wake up, but I was still asleep. Wake up, I'd see the curtain, I'd see the light coming through the curtain, or I'd see the closet or the hallway or the light on top, and one eye would kind of flip open because you have eye movement in your sleep, so that never gets paralyzed. So then sometimes you wake up, great, except you can't move a muscle. Okay, then you close your eyes and take a deep breath, and let's try this again. Try to move, nothing. Okay, well then panic usually sets in if you're a sleep paralysis sufferer. You try to yell and scream for help, anybody, outside, upstairs, next door, anybody. You just don't want to be in this condition, yet nothing comes out of your mouth. Or it sounds very much like moaning, it's muffled. It's scary. So then you just try struggling again with all your might, and eventually you can snap out of it, but boy, it's tough. Now this, and I even have it, I had it last night afternoon when I took a nap. It's so frustrating. And I think it's hereditary. The things that could cause it, I don't really do those things. And I try to avoid the things on these lists, but it just doesn't help. But you can have hallucinations when you do this because you can kind of still see part of your dream, and it's not real. It's just, well, it is, but it's in your dream, but your body is awake and you can still hear and see things. That's what happened to me way back. I must have been 4 or 5 years old when this first happened. It's not a common occurrence. They say some European studies, 8,000 subjects, only 6.2% of them have ever had one instance of sleep paralysis. And yet I've had it. I probably have it several times a week. The worst was 12 times in one night. Like every 20 minutes or so, I'd fall asleep and wake up and can't move and make all kinds of noise, because my wife was not here that time. She was in the Philippines and couldn't wake me up like she does all the time now when she hears me making noises and struggle. It's very rare. It's uncommon. Now, there are sometimes lately she wakes me up and in my dream I'm not even aware that I'm scared yet or that I want to be woken up yet, but I can feel her pushing on me. And there are times when I am frightened to death and I'm trying to yell and scream and I hear her pushing me or my cheek or my mouth or something. And I keep, in my dream, I'm thinking, harder, hon, faster, harder, push more, don't stop. Because I'm wide awake, or at least I'm asleep. I can't move. My eyes are closed, but I know she's trying to wake me up because I'm scared to death, and it's taking so long. Everything just takes so long when you're in sleep paralysis mode. And finally, she snaps me out of it, and I try to just say, thank you, hon. And after a few seconds, I feel pretty good. But boy, is it frightening. And the second most times it happened to me was like 5. We've got it on CCTV, before I went to sleep doctor, and we just put the cameras down there, and it happened 5 times in 3 days. I just moan, start moving around, shaking and moan, and then my mom pushes me. Interesting thing about sleep paralysis, it's the gateway, they say, to out-of-body experiences. My dad used to claim to be able to astral project, astral travel. I thought it was the most bizarre thing I ever heard. Then when I got older, I realized some people try to induce sleep paralysis so they can astral travel. It's where your body, you leaves. You're still conscious. Your body's down there, and you can float. And if you can control your thoughts, you can move around, then go back to your body. And I used to think that was preposterous. I'm not so sure now, because they say, if you can maintain sleep paralysis without being scared to death, you got to be real comfortable and confident for 2 minutes that you might be able to have an out-of-body experience, OBE. So OBEs are the sensation of leaving your physical self, traveling somewhere else, only to return to your sleeping body. I'd like to. I've thought about that. I've dreamt about it, but never been able to do this. Now, medications... sometimes they say if you have narcolepsy, they'll treat it for that. Otherwise, it's like antidepressants and anti-anxiety meds. And yeah, my mind is, alert too much, I guess. I fall asleep before I'm ready, and then I wake up before I'm ready. Happens in naps. But I think my dad was afflicted with this, because I do remember him making sounds from down, he'd sleep downstairs, and I would hear him make sounds, and I always wondered, why is he moaning? And then when I saw the CCTV film of myself, I thought, oh, that's what I was hearing. That's what my wife hears when she has to wake me up. Now, it's really frustrating. Sleep paralysis, very scaring. Have you guys ever had that? I know some people can be just terrified, and they have it like every single night, multiple times. I feel sorry for that person. I have it multiple times a week. Can have it on back-to-back days, can have multiple times in a night. And I hate it. I hate it to death. And I've been to sleep doctors, and there's just, other than trying some anti-anxiety meds, there's nothing they say they can really do, and it's not supposed to harm you. But, my kind is where in you're dreaming and there's some invisible entity that you can't see, and then it's coming at you, and then you get scared stiff, literally. You can't move, and so you start yelling and screaming. Often with me, it's when I'm in a dream and I go to turn on, it's kind of dark in the room, and I go to turn on a light switch, nothing happens. Then I go to another room in the dream, flip a light switch, nothing happens. Then I start locking up because I know it's out there, it's somewhere. I've never seen it, but it's there. It's invisible, it's evil, it's malevolent. That's all part of my sleep paralysis experience. But let me know if you can relate to any of this. I just thought I would make a out of the ordinary video about an unordinary sleep experience. Let me know what you think about sleep paralysis today.